Hi, INFJs and autistic INFJs. I'm wondering, have you ever been in a workplace when you knew somebody was lying and you were quite aware that you were the only one that knew they were lying and you didn't know what to do about it? This is what we're talking about today as INFJs being able to spot those liars, especially in a workplace, and what to do about it. This was a request that came in from some of you viewers, and you asked me to talk about this. And I think it's a great topic to talk about. I believe there's a lot in the workplace regarding INFJs and autistic INFJs that could be addressed. I know from my past experience. So there's a lot of different things that we definitely could unpack in the workplace, but this is one I know I've experienced, and I know a lot of other INFJs have, because we are really great at spotting liars. So today, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to explain to you why we are great at spotting liars. And I'm going to give you 6. I had to read my notes. I couldn't remember how many. 6 ways to handle it. 6 steps you could take to handle it effectively in your workplace when you spot a liar. So if you're new and we haven't met before, welcome to my channel. My name's Trina Brunel. I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I love showing up and sharing things that I have discovered that have worked for me along the way, with hopes of making somebody's life easier, a fellow INFJ and autistic INFJ as well. And, just help you guys to be seen, heard, and understood, because I always felt I was never understood. So for one person just to understand me, it would be huge. So welcome to my channel. I'm glad you found it. If you're returning, I'm very grateful for you to come back. Now, before we get going, if you have something that you would like for me to talk about, a topic or a subject, whatever it is, drop it in the comments, or I'll leave my email address, and feel free to email me directly about your topic or your thoughts, or if you just want to reach out and say hi. I love hearing from you guys. So another thing, my son is home. It's summer vacation, and he is playing on his drum set downstairs. So you might hear that. My apologies, but it's the way it goes. So talking about INFJs and spotting liars. We are so great at spotting liars. I was in a predicament quite a few years back when I was working corporate. Actually, it involved my supervisor. I knew she was lying. Me and another lady I work with that I suspected was another INFJ, but I never ever asked her. Anyway, we knew she was lying. Quite frequently she would lie, and she bluffed everybody. Well, I would think most people in the office, and I really didn't know what to do about it. And quite often her lies made myself and another lady look bad. And we really didn't know how to handle it, so I just let it go, right? It would make me look bad, so I didn't know how to handle it. And that really doesn't make you feel very good. So this really does go on, and it is an issue for an INFJ, especially when you know they're lying. It makes it very difficult. So why does an INFJ, what about us, makes it easy for us to spot liars? When I was first told this, I questioned it. I thought, no, we don't do that. But you know what? We do. We can really spot liars. So let's unpack the INFJ personality type and what it is about us that makes us spot liars so easily. The first thing is our introverted intuition. Now, this is our dominant function. We use this all the time in life. Well, hopefully we do. If we're not, we're stumbling through life and being confused. I didn't lean into mine, and it caused me lots of issues, but that's a story for another time. Our introverted intuition, it's what allows us to see patterns, underlying motives people have, and it tells us when something is off, right? So it's constantly picking up information around us, and it's storing it inside of our brain. We don't even know what's happening. It's just happening. That's our introverted intuition. Now we have our deep empathy. All of us have this. We can empathize till the cows come home because it's what we're good at, and that's just what we do naturally. We can't even really control it. It just happens. So we sense when outside actions are not matching those inner emotional cues that we're picking up on because of our empathy, right? We're picking up on people's emotions constantly and in the room and near us and whatever. We know exactly how they're feeling and what's going on. When their outside actions aren't matching how they're feeling, our introverted intuition takes over and it starts going, hey, ding, 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 something's not right here. because of our empathy, it's picked it up. Something's going on. So we're really good at reading body language because of our deep empathy, changes in tone, facial expressions, that sort of thing, right? And those all change. When somebody is lying, it doesn't matter how good of a liar they are, that changes. Their body language changes, their tone changes, facial expressions change. We pick on it. We pick up on it real quick because of our deep empathy. INFJs are great at spotting liars because we're very perceptive. We notice everything, right? Like, for a long time, I couldn't figure out why other people didn't notice things that I noticed. Like, it was clear, it's right in front of you. How can you not notice it? Because they're not near as perceptive as we are, right? So we notice everything. We are naturally analyzing people's behaviors. We do it, we don't even know we do it. Well, actually, I know I do it. I know that I'm always analyzing behaviors because I'm always curious about what's making people do the things they do, right? I'm always curious. Why is that person doing that? Or what's going on with that person? What's making them do this, right? Anyway, so we're very perceptive. And our high sensitivity. An INFJ's high sensitivity will help them spot a liar. And INFJs are very high sensitive people. Now, I have met a few INFJs who claim they aren't, and maybe they aren't. I don't know. I can't say. I don't know how they feel. But the majority of INFJs are extremely high sensitive people. And high sensitivity is quite interesting. So that's when our gut feelings and our hunches come in, right? We've got this strong sense that something is off. Now, if you're autistic INFJ, everything that I just listed, that introverted intuition, the deep empathy, the perception, the high sensitivity, amplify it even more. We feel all of that. Our intuition is stronger. We feel empathy even deeper than an INFJ who isn't on the spectrum. We're very perceptive. We see even more. Not a whole lot gets past us. We don't share most of what we see, and we're extremely high sensitive. So that all helps us spot liars. Now, what do we do about it? I mean, we get put in an awkward situation if you're in a workplace, right? Because you don't really want to cause waves, and especially if you're depending on that job. For me, I depended on it. I was a single mom at the time. There was no way that I could risk losing my job, so I really didn't know what to do when I knew my supervisor was lying. So I just let it go. So here's a few things that I did a little bit of research on this because I couldn't actually tell you from the top of my head how to handle it because I never thought about it since I've been, working on myself. So it was something I had to take a few weeks and research and figure out, now how could we handle this effectively? And this is what I came up with and I also reached out to the AI with help with this, just to make sure I was on the right track because I will admit, I was second guessing myself because I didn't handle the situation correctly at all. Didn't handle it at all, actually. I avoided it and I allowed it to continue to go. So the first thing is stay calm and collected, right? Continue to observe and listen. Just stand back and observe and listen. We're really great at that. Number 2, document the incidents. Write down the dates and the times and specifics of what was said, when it was said, were there actions, that sort of things. Then number 3, verify those facts. We want to make sure that we're accurate. Cross-check the information, Do a little bit of research on your own. Maybe with that person, even ask clarifying questions just to make sure that they are lying and it's not miscommunication, okay? It's not that they're confused and maybe we're picking up on their confusion and their unease and their uncertainty because that can happen as well. That will change people's body language when they're a little bit confused, they've lost their confidence, they're not at ease, right? And it can be mistaken for a lie. So just cross-reference that just to be sure. Number 4, address the issue. When you're confident that this is what's going on, you've got your facts, all of that, set up a private conversation with that person, okay? Keep your tone as neutral as possible, non-confrontational. I know INFJs, we don't like confrontation, so this part's going to be difficult, but you've done the work so far, you might as well confront it. Be specific and don't accuse. That's like one of the worst things we could do is accuse them of lying. I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything, but I do know there are, do I want to call them mental disabilities, mental issue? Maybe, it has to do with mental health. Anyway, there's people that lie constantly and they don't even realize they're doing it. It's a mental health issue, right? So we don't want to accuse because maybe that person doesn't even realize they're lying, right? So be specific, don't accuse, just share what you've noticed, right? Like you're getting feedback from them of what's going on. This is what you've noticed. Could you just clarify what's going on? Use those I statements. Number 5 is use I statements. And this will express, when you're talking to them, use the I statements that I feel it's going to impact the team or the office this way. Your actions, I feel, are impacting us this way. This is very important that you make it more about your office or your team or the project, not about you. So I feel blah, 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 blah is going to impact the office, the team, the project this way. Okay? And then if this doesn't work, then seek help, support from HR or from your chain of command, your supervisor. However, if it's your supervisor that you've caught in the lie, you might want to reach out to HR or out to her supervisor as long as you've confronted her or him or whoever it may be, right? I hope this was helpful. I thought it was an interesting topic. Again, like I said, I do think there's a lot to unpack regarding INFJs in a workplace. Because I've worked in a lot of toxic environments because I wasn't fully understood. That's the thing. I know corporate and society is trying really hard with the neurodivergent people. And yeah, I say neurodivergent because I truly believe that INFJs are. If you're on the spectrum, an INFJ on the spectrum, you're totally neurodivergent. But I still think there is a long ways for them to come. They have to go yet to accommodate the neurodivergence in the workforce. And there is a lot of us. So like I said, I do believe it's a topic that has a lot of unpacking to do. And if you're interested in me talking more about my thoughts of INFJs in the workplace, let me know because I would love to talk about it. I've thought about it lots because I've really struggled. I've been called names. It's just a mess. It was a mess. It was a very toxic environment for me and it caused me a lot of work to do on myself without getting into the victim mindset here. It just did. So, like I said, I do believe that there is still a long ways for corporate and society to come when they're understanding neurodivergence, INFJs as well. But I do believe INFJs fall under the neurodivergent umbrella. And I have seen in many articles that they do include them as neurodivergence because it's all about brain processing, right? And we process things differently. Even if you're not autistic, an INFJ processes things differently. Anyway, completely off topic. If you would like me to chat more about the workplace and INFJs, let me know because I would love to do that. Thanks for joining me. I hope it was helpful. Give me a thumbs up, like my video if it was helpful because it pushes it out to more people. And please feel free to share it with more INFJs or somebody that you might think is having issues in the workplace. A lot of this stuff that I talked about, aside from why an INFJ spots a liar, how to handle it is generic. It's not specific to personality type. That's just how you should handle it in a workplace. It's the best way to handle it, I feel, in a workplace. So anyway, thanks for joining me again. I hope this was helpful and I will see you very soon with another interesting video. Until then, take care. Bye for now.